Hello everyone, my name is Smithy and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going through my Leagues 5 Raging Echoes strategy. In this video we're going to be going through the regions I'm picking currently, because I might swap around a little bit if we get a little bit more information. There are a couple more days of info that they're going to be dropping, or Old School are going to be dropping on their official Twitter. And we're also going to be going through the relics, where we've got the options out already. For example, the tier 1s, we already know what all of those are, and some of the other tiers, we know what relics are coming out, so we can make a decision on what ones we're going to be picking. Now, I've been catching up because I've actually been away on a trip, so I've been catching up on all of the posts they've been releasing, and all the good information, all that juicy information they've been dropping, and kind of calculating out what I think are going to be the best regions for myself. And also the best regions to build a pretty beefy hybrid build. Notice I said hybrid, not tribrid. A nice hybrid build, and take on some content that I'm comfortable with, but also taking on some stuff that I've done before, but not loads of, and I'd like to get better at. And also, I think they're going to be pretty, pretty fun with all the cracked buffs and stuff that we're going to be getting with the relics and passive effects that you get from each tier, and the whole combat mastery that they released. Wasn't expecting them to release the full roster of combat mastery buffs, but I'm very happy they have, because we can do a little bit more planning. But I just want to say, Leagues is a limited time game mode. It's all for fun. All right, we don't have to have a step-by-step, I'm going to be doing this task, then 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 this. I'm not going to be doing that. I want to have fun with it. I also want to lock in for some serious gaming. I'm going to make a little bit of a list of stuff, and I'm going to be doing, I just want to say as well, I'm going to be doing a full-on progression-style series on Leagues. The first couple of weeks are going to be daily uploads on the channel. I'm looking at around 6 p.m. UK time. They're going to be going up every day for at least 2 weeks. Yeah, and that will have my full what tasks I'm completing, what I'm unlocking, relics, what I'm picking, all that good stuff. So if that is of interest, keep your eyes on the channel. Subscribe if you're new. They're going to be going up every day. There's going to be a SmithyTV, a Smithy television production video up every single day for a fair chunk of the Leagues 5 playthrough. Play out? I don't know. You know what I mean. So I think best place to start is to go through our tier 1 relics. Now, we've got the power miner, which is the mining based one, which when you mine, or you either automatically smelt it, or you automatically smelt it into bars, that is, and if you mine gems, it automatically cuts them, and all that good stuff, and you get all the XP for that. So you're getting smithing XP while mining, or crafting XP while mining, and all of that. I did cover that in another video where I was going through the Golden God relic, which if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. It'll be in the playlist that's on screen somewhere at some point during this video, or in the description. But yeah, so we've got the power miner one, we've got the lumberjack one, which is the woodcutting equivalent. So if you're chopping logs, you're either burning them, fletching them, or just sending them straight to your bank, the logs. It's cool, but I don't know, I don't feel it's as useful as the third one, which is the animal wrangler. Now, this is going to be a harpoon that automatically cooks your fish and sends it to your bank. With all three of these, by the way, any produce is going straight to your bank, so you've not got a full inventory of steel bars, for example, if you're mining iron ore. They're going to be going straight to your bank, which is pretty cool. AFKing, love that. But with the animal wrangler one as well, it's not just fishing and cooking, it's also hunter as well. You're not going to foul traps, you catch more chin chompers, and you catch them faster, and all of that good stuff. And implin jars, for example, won't break. So for me, out of those three, that rhymed, I'm going to go with animal wrangler. I just think it's the most useful one, because you're banking food, and the fact it tackles another skill that you otherwise would have to go and train, compared to one that's like a production, line, whereas wood cutting, if you chop logs, you're then going to fletch them, or you're going to burn them, or, you know, do whatever you want with them, make them into a birdhouse. I'm not your mum, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I think with fishing, it's actually given something that's then helpful for PVM, and with the hunter element to it as well. I think it's just a nicely spread out relic. So for me, Animal Wrangler is my tier 1 pick of what I'm going to be going with. I just want to say as well, if you're not thinking the same as me, I'd love to hear it down in the comments. I want this video and the whole Leagues videos that I make to be a discussion in the comments of what everyone's doing, what everyone's getting up to, what people are thinking, what regions they're picking and everything like that. I love to read what you guys are planning out, what content you're going to be smashing through. So yeah, let me know about what you're thinking, your plans, everything like that. If you disagree with something I'm saying, I want to hear. I want to hear and let's discuss it. So whack it down in the comment section. I love the whole theory crafting element of Leagues. I think it's one of the best bits of it. So I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Now, I think we need to move on to another one where we've got 3 different options where we know all of the relics, and now we can pick what one we think is the best personally. And that is to do with the teleport relics. Now, we've got 3 different options here. One of them is complete port over from previous times of Fairy's Flight, which allows you to teleport to any fairy ring, spirit tree, and tall leprechaun in the game. Unlocking this relic will auto-complete Tree Gnome Village as well. It ignores wilderness teleport restrictions, and it cannot be used to teleport to an area you haven't. I'm reading the thing at the moment. It's on screen. It's on screen. Fairy's Flight is one that was overlooked for previous leagues. I know a lot of people were Fairy Flight enjoyers. For me, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it you just teleport to your house and it's already there. You know what I mean? Out of the 3, I think it's the weakest one. Again, personal preference. Yeah, I think it's the weakest one of the 3 personally. I wasn't even considering it when I saw it. Yeah, Fairy's Flight, not for me. Now the next one is Bank Heist, which will teleport you to any deposit box, bank, or bank chest. Again, ignores wilderness restrictions, and you can't tell you anywhere that you haven't unlocked. A very good one. Very, very good. There's obviously shed loads of deposit box, banks, and chests around the game. But for me, it's very good. It's very strong. I can see a lot of people picking it. I feel like it's a coin toss between this one and the third one. But for me, I think the other one, the third one, has way more benefits to it. And with my kind of plan that I'll get into in the next topic that we'll talk about, I don't think it benefits me as much as the third one. Very good though. Very, very good. Especially if you go with the flip side of what we'll talk about in a minute. It could tie up very nicely. And now the third relic on that list of this tier is the one that I'm going to be picking, which is Clue Compass. This teleports you to any stash unit and fallow the bard. And fallow the bard. There's not multiple fallows. It also has the ability to teleport you to your current clue step. And that means that you can also farm clue steps to be able to have some weird teleports. As long as you've got it in your bank, in your inventory, and you've read it, you can teleport to it, which I think is pretty sick. Clues, there's always millions of points behind clues in League. Obviously not millions, but you get what I mean. There's loads of points behind clues, and the fact that clues are stackable with this relic, you stack them all in your inventory. You fly through them. You teleport around the map. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, top tier relic. Clue Compass is going to be my pick out of the teleport ones. I've made some notes here. You can tele to clue steps. Yeah, sick. Loads of them around the map. Stash units. They're normally a lot of the elite ones and master ones are in pretty nice areas. So, you could use one of those to farm PVM. Like I said, they're easy points on clues. There's stash units everywhere. And, the whole thing about farming weird clue steps that you can use to your advantage. Yeah, I'm a big clue enjoyer, so I am definitely going to be doing a lot of clues in leagues. And like I said, there's loads of league points for getting uniques within clues, but also just completing a number of clues as well. There's normally tasks for completing X amount. So yeah, I think Clue Compass is not only good for its teleport aspect, but for just rinsing through points. So for me, the teleport relics, I'm going to be going with Clue Compass. I think is a very, very, very strong relic. Yeah, and also stackable clues is just a thing within leagues. You don't have to worry about it because you've not got this relic, for example, if you went with Bank Heist. Clue Compass doesn't give you the stackable. That is a passive effect as part of the league. And now what I was alluding to earlier, which is the Tau of the Banker's Note versus Total Recall. Before it was Banker's Note versus... what was he called? The other one, the shit one. The one that no one should have picked. Fire Sale. Yeah, Fire Sale. Nice one, mate. That's good for about 2 days of leagues. Come at me if you disagree. But with Banker's Note, for me, it kind of removes the need for Bank Heist. But if you're going with Bank Heist and you're going with Total Recall, I think that works very well because you can set your Total Recall point. So just to quickly go through what Total Recall is, this item can be used to store any single coordinate alongside your hit points, prayer, and special attack energy, and teleport back to it at a later date, restoring your stats to what they were. So you can set yourself a pinpoint on the map, say outside Godwall's dungeon. You can teleport away, restock, special attack, all that good stuff. That's with like an instance boss. Because you can't set your coordinates like in the middle of chambers, for example, or within Godwall's, like in the Bando's room. It has to be outside of an instance. But if you're doing a boss that's not in an instance, you can go in, set your coordinates there, spec, teleport out, teleport right back to where you were, use your specs again, boom, boom, boom. It is quick kills. I get the appeal of Total Recall. But for me, Banker's Note, man. This item will allow you to note and unnote items anywhere in Gielinor. You can manually use the items on the Banker's Note and it will unnote or note them, much like a bank. The active option allows you to note and unnote items in one action without a specific quantity. An object must first be used on the Banker's Note in order for this to work. You can customize how many items in the Banker's Note will note and unnote as well. So you're not vomiting stuff into your inventory. You can set 5 of something, for example. I used Banker's Note in the last league. We had it. Oh man, you can just sit at a boss all day long. You fill up your inventory with food, brews, prayer pots, whatever. And not only can you unnote supplies that you bring with you, you can note up those drops you're getting, especially if you're doing a Slayer task that's got a lot of alks, but you're on a different spell book. You can just note them up, alk them later. For me, I think Banker's Note is one of the strongest relics. I know a lot of people disagree with that because it was very 50-50 on Fire Sale versus Banker's Note. I don't think it's going to be the same this time around, but we shall see. But yeah, for me, out of those two, I'm going to be picking Banker's Note. I think Banker's Note is beautiful. And it's just going to make things like Slayer and PVM just that bit easier. But it also has the whole skilling aspect, so you can just note up a load of essence and sit at a rune crafting altar and just get yourself 99 rune crafting. Same with bones and prayer. Banker's Note, top tier. That is what I'm going to be going out of that versus Total Recall. And another set of relics that we've already been given the full roster for is the what they call them, utility relics. So the first one we've got is Friendly Forager. This item will provide the following benefits whilst in your inventory or equipped. When you gather resources from woodcutting, fishing, mining, and hunting. The forager's pouch will find and store a random grimy herb, limited to herbs from your herbal level plus 25, can clean, whilst also providing a small amount of token XP when one is found. The forager's pouch will only find herbs it has room to store, but will always attempt to give you a herb you can receive. The forager's pouch works just like a herb sack and shares an inventory with it. Additionally, you can gain the following benefits to herbivore when crafting potions. Secondary ingredients have a 90% chance to not be consumed. This stacks additively with other sources, whatever the hell that means. And creative potions can contain 4 doses instead of 3. It's a very strong relic for herblore. I think out of the 3 though, it's probably the weakest, and I will be interested to see how many people actually pick this one. It does make herblore that bit easier, but once you get to late game PVM or mid game PVM, you're getting a lot of herbs, you're getting a lot of secondaries, especially if you're doing your farm runs, or you've got that farmer perk, farmer relic, whatever it is. Yeah, it's good, but it's not as good as the other ones, in my opinion. And now moving on to the 2 that I'm really, really torn on. All right, now the next one is Corner Cutter, which if you played in previous league, or I think it was the previous league, it was these Sage's Greaves that when equipped, you're granted agility XP just running around, which is insane. Because agility sucks, let's face it. Completing an agility course grants you 2 completions and 25% bonus XP. A Mark of Grace will also spawn 10k coins, double quantity of Pyramid Blunder Tops, Hallowed Marks, and Brimhaven Vouchers, and Crystal Shards from agility. That's Crystal Shards specifically from agility, not if you went and done Gauntlet, for example. I think this is the one I'm going to be going with out of the 3. But it's very close with the next one. Using it in the last league, it was OP as hell. Like it was sick. Like you put these boots on and you just fucking whipped it around the map, man, and you got that agility 99 like that. It was great. And the XP scales as well, so you're not just getting like shitter XP the whole time. It scales with your level. It was fantastic. And agility to train is a pain in the ass. It's why in main game my agility is one of my lowest skills, because I don't like agility. But yeah, Corner Cutter, very, very good. I think it's the top pick in this one, for me personally, because of my playstyle. But the next one, I'm still torn, man. I'm still torn. I still could pick this next one. And that next one is Dodgy Deals, which pickpocket an NPC will also pickpocket all NPCs of a similar type in an 11 by 11 square, granting extra loot for each NPC pickpocketed. 100% success rate on all thieving checks. Automatically repocket an NPC, re-pickpocket, I should say, an NPC and stall until you no longer can do so. Items obtained from pickpocketing are noted. Maximum coin pouch count is increased by 3. Stalls do not deplete when you steal from them. This was tied in with Trickster, I think. So they've split out Corner Cutter and this Dodgy Deals one. There used to be one relic, which is why I'm torn, man, because I've been teased with it before and it was fantastic. But I think thieving is a lot easier for me personally to train. I don't find it as taxing. I mean, I did 99. I did from 94, I think it was, to 99 in like 2 weeks or something like that. Gave myself RSI, but it is what it is. That's why I'm torn between this one and the Corner Cutter. But I think this one, for me personally, I can live without. Whereas the agility one, I kind of like that one a bit more. So for me personally, I'm not going to be going with Dodgy Deals. I know a lot of people will be, but for me, Corner Cutter is my pick. And now I'm looking through my notes of everything that I've written out. And yeah, I think it's time to talk regions. First of all, Combat Masteries. Combat Masteries first. Hold on. Combat Masteries, so we've got the whole, let me open it up properly. We've got 3 tiers, obviously, because there's 3 different combat styles of melee, range, and magic, each one having 6 tiers, and each one providing its own set bonuses and all, or not set bonuses, but unlock bonuses and all that good stuff. There are passive ones that you unlock regardless of you know, what one you pick. But for me personally, I think with the setup that I'm going with regions, I'm going to be going with up to tier 5 in melee and up to tier 5 in range. Nothing on magic. Yeah, I'm going with a full-on melee range hybrid. Yeah, I'm not going to read through all of it. I'm going to put the thing on screen so you can read it, and you can pause the video if you want to. But there's a lot of shit to read, and I don't really want to read it all, to be perfectly honest. But for me, yeah, I'm going to be going with a tier 5. It does mean I don't get the passive tier 6, which attacks with all styles now have 60% prayer penetration. So if something's praying range, you hit 60% of what you would hit if they weren't praying range. Cool. But you're already getting like bonuses anyway. Bonuses out the wazoo here, man. You're fine. You're fine. You're cooking. Yeah. So for me, tier 5 melee, tier 5 range. It fits in very nicely. You unlock combat mastery points. It's its own separate system, which is really cool. By completing different tasks, which is defeat a giant, defeat 10 monsters with combat level 100 plus, defeat Scurrius by yourself, defeat a monster with a Slayer requirement of 55 plus, defeat Jad, reach combat 100, defeat an Echo boss, defeat 2 unique Echo bosses, defeat 3 unique Echo bosses, and defeat Zuck. Yeah, it'd be interesting how that plays out. So it's what, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, there are 10. Oh fuck, I got to beat Zuck. Oh no. That would be cool. That'd be interesting. But either way, I really like this system. I really like how it's set out. But for me, tier 5 melee range. That's what I'm going with. Now, the biggest part of leagues, because this is a region restricted league. What regions am I going to be going with? Well, my friends, this was bloody hard to pick. Originally, I was thinking Varlamore, then Zaya, and then I work it out as I go along for the third one. I really want to try Varlamore in a league setting. The only problem is Varlamore's not fully complete. Let's face it, there's still more content to come, as my friend Prenty pointed out when I was discussing with him. The Echo boss is the bloody Colosseum, which I've not even done a normal Colosseum yet, and if the Echo boss is going to be even harder. The rewards there are really, really cool. Like the Echo rewards are sick. But is it going to be achievable for me? I don't know. Varlamore feels like a very early to mid-game pick. I think there's going to be some really, really easy points there. You've got some fun content with Moons of Peril and the drops that he gives there, but then you've got like the Amoxie, which is all right, but it doesn't really give anything useful. The same with Huey. Yeah, cool. Vardorvis is a big one that is there because the way that it's working this time is that the DT2 bosses will drop all of the items from all of the items for making like the weapon or like the axe, for example, and it will just drop the ring. You won't drop the components; it will just drop the ring itself. Which does make it cool, and you don't need to worry about, oh no, I've only got an axe head, I can't do anything with it. With this, you can build an axe. Gonna build an axe with a handle tool. You know what I mean, that song. But yeah, I think Varlamore has great early, mid game, the end game, a little bit shake, a little bit weak, a little bit not leaves me wanting more. Zaya, obviously, we've got Chambers, but the way that they're doing it this time is that you can get any of the 3 mega rares, that being Shadow, T-Bow, and Scythe, from any of the raids. You get like a voucher that you can trade in, and then you can pick what one you want, which is pretty sick. So it leaves me going, okay, well, I do really like Chambers, but I've done quite a lot of Chambers. The Echo boss is a Spori, and the reward is it's alright. It's not great. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's not blowing my socks off. And then your Winter Todd, which we've done enough Winter Todd for a lifetime, and Serapnis, and that might give me a bloody cudgel. Hydra, yeah, sick for Slayer. And there's so much content in Zaya as well. But I was then thinking, it doesn't really play out with what I want to do with leagues and all that fun stuff. Then I start looking at, the Wilderness sounds really cool. You know, the Wilderness has been very good to me with my Void Waker drops and all that stuff. The Echo Boss is going to be the KBD, and the drops there seem really cool with the sword and the shield that you can get. But I'm like, yeah, the Wilderness, the Wilderness is really cool, really fun. It's actually got some really good content in it. Would it fit with what I want to do? No. Okay, cool. Asgarnia, that was one of my biggest picks that I was thinking, yeah, we did Asgarnia last time and it was really great for content and really great for upgrades and all that good stuff. And Cerberus, you got the dog sword, which sounds sick, and you're like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And it's going to drop, you know, you got the boots and everything, and just because you can't get the Eternal boots because you need desert, they're going to drop the Eternal boots as a whole, and you're like, yeah, sick. I was like, does it fit with what I want to do? And I'm thinking, not really. And then I look at the desert, and I'm like, yeah, they've got that blowpipe that you get for KQ, and I'm like, yeah, but it does seem a little bit like, yeah, but you could, you know, get a blowpipe, and that's, you know, with the whole buffs and everything, it's going to be the same bloody thing, really. And then you look at the rest of the desert, and you've got Temperos, and you're like, oh, wow, that's just Wintertodt 2.0. And then you look at Leviathan, you're like, oh, that's something I've not really learnt before, and I'd like to do more of. And then you look at TOA, and TOA's a load of shit, and I fucking hate going there, but I'm joking, by the way. TOA isn't my favourite raid, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to lock myself there and force myself to have to do that, because I need to get points, because points mean prizes and all that good stuff. But anyway, I don't think the desert is as strong, because you can now get the Shadow in Mauritania or Zaya and all of that good stuff. And then you look at Kandarin, and Kandarin's fucking useless because of that perk that gives you all the prayers, which not perk relics, the relic that gives you all the gives you all the prayers. Words, am I right? And that's the relic that I'm going to be going with, regardless of what's on its picks. By the way, the one that gives you all the prayers, because that's sick, and you can swap your spell books willy nilly. Love that. Yeah, so Kandarin, what a joke. Bin that one off. And then it leaves me with, you know, the 3 regions that I'm going to be picking. And I think the first region, I did have this round a slightly different way, and it may change, but these are the 3 regions that I'm going to be going with for Leagues 5. The first one is one that I wouldn't have expected myself to pick, but that's Fremennik. Fremennik has DKs, which has, you know, obviously all the rings that they drop, and they're quite easy. If you've not seen my guides on how to do Dagonoffs, go and check it out. Little plug for myself. They're going to be the Echo Boss. And the Echo drops that they have are pretty sick. Now, if I go over to the Fremenniks, you've got the Amulet of the Monarchs. I'll put a little... Hold on. So I'll put a little thing up on screen now so you can see what I'm on about. That amulet is fucking broken. And then you look at the Emperor ring. That ring is fucking broken. Why would you not want them? I want them, bro. I want them. You're doing DKs, and DKs are pretty easy, even if they are going to buff them up a little bit. So, yeah, Fremennik sounds great. There's loads of, like, early game content there with the Slayer and the Thieving and the Do and the Da and the Boo. Yeah, so Fremennik, surprisingly, is going to be my first pick. Now let's move on to my second pick. And that is one that I've actually wanted to try in Leagues for ages, because I think it's, especially with all the range buffs, I think it's going to be sick. And that is Tirunwen, the Elflands. So with that, you've obviously got the Gauntlet, and the Gauntlet has been very nice to me. If you've seen my log, it's absolutely crazy. You've got obviously the Crystal Seeds there, and the Hunlith is going to be the Echo Boss. And the blessing that you get, which is now on screen, is kind of crazy. So if you've got a full set of crystal armor on, regardless of what melee weapon you get, you have equipped, you're getting the buffs that you get from crystal armor on that melee weapon. Insane. Sorry, what? Yeah, so that blessing, I was like, yes, please. With all the range stuff as well, because within Tirunwen, you've got, obviously, Gauntlet. You've then got Zulrah, which you've got the Serp Helm, Blowpipe, and then you might say, oh, but you only get the Magic Fang. Oh, no, my friends. It's going to be dropping the full Trident, which is a pretty solid mage weapon. especially if I'm going to be going to the raid that I'm going to be picking, which I'll get to in a minute. And the other boss there is Zalcano, which I've written in my notes, pain and suffering, smiley face, because Zalcano hates me. But it's very good smithing XP, it's very good mining XP, it gives you runecrafting XP, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Zalcano is OP for resources. I do love Zalcano. It hates me, but I love it. It's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes you need that in your life. So yeah, I'm looking at that blessing. I'm thinking, fucking sign me up for that, mate. I'm looking at Crystal. Sign me up for that. I'm looking at Zulrah. I love Zulrah. I used to hate it with a burning passion because I couldn't do it. But now I can, and I love it. So yeah, Tyrwin, there's a lot of really good content there. There's a whole range of skilling aspect to it as well. And I just, this league, I wanted to get it in my roster somehow for my regions because I just want to give it a go. And I think it's going to be sick. And my third and final pick, which is going to tie in nicely with that little segue that I said about the Trident having an upgrade in my third region. It was going to be my first region, but Prenti talked me out of it because he made a good point. Mauritania, all right? Mauritania, there is so much endgame content there. There's a nice plethora of mid-game as well. Sorry, punch my mic. Ow. But you've got, interestingly enough, GG's, Grotesque Guardians are going to be the Echo boss. And they essentially drop a slightly buffed version of the Barrow's Gloves. I was like, cool, when I was reading it. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But you can't get Barrow's Gloves any other way, really, can you? Because you don't have access to everywhere. So that's huge. It does mean you have to do Grotesque Guardians, which does make me feel a little bit ill. But we push through. And then you've got Araxor, which I think is a fun little boss. That's a big boy, isn't it? No, it's a fun Slayer boss that gives silly XP. Obviously, you've got the noxious halberd. But it also drops an auto-built Rancor, because normally you'd need to build a Torture and then, put the Fang on it. But because of regions, you can't do that unless you pick the right regions. So they're just dropping a full-on amulet, which I think is pretty nice of them. And then you've got Nightmare, which is something that I really only try during leagues. I've done a little bit in main game. I do think it's a great boss, but I just don't think enough people do it because the rewards and the drops it gives just aren't that great. As in, like, the resources and shit it drops. It's all right, Nightmare, but I want to do more of it. I want to get involved there, especially with the drops there. I've not tried them out for myself, and I think it's going to fit nicely with my build and all of that fun stuff. And then you move on to Barrows, which, I love me some Barrows. Oh, yes, I do. I wouldn't have gone for the green log if I didn't love them. Even if they did, Darrock in particular, take my hardcore. But yeah, Barrows, it's going to set you up for gear-wise, especially if you get there, get to your third region. If I get to my third region early, start getting my Barrows stuff, it's going to be easy points. You love it. And the fact that I've got the Clue Relic, there is a stash unit by the chest, so if I kill one, I just want to farm one, just teleport to that stash unit, I'm in there, open the chest, boom, hopefully get a drop. Probably won't. And then obviously the big boy, the raid, Theatre of Blood. And I was going to say Toothin, but I don't know why I was about to say that. But anyway, you can get all the mega rares there. You can get a full Avernic Defender, so you don't have to worry about just having the Avernic hilt and going, well, I can't do anything with it. It'll just drop the full Avernic Defender. I want to do more Tob. I want to get way more comfortable with Tob. I want to be smashing that out next year in main game. I've done 16 Tobs or something like that on main game. I want to get more comfy with it. I want to get more comfy cozy with it. I want to learn those mechanics better. I want it to get more muscle memory rather than me going, oh shit, what am I doing now? Tob, incredibly fun raid. It could become my favourite if I did more of it. But that is going to be my picks. Fremennik, Tyrwin, you know what I mean. Mauritania. They're the three. And that is my notebook closed. They are all the notes that I have for you today. That is all my plans so far. There's a lot to plan out, isn't there, mate? A lot to plan out. But I'm really excited for this league. I really like the whole idea of this Echo Boss system. I like that it's region locked again. I like that there's still kind of that pathing for yourself with, obviously you're picking all your relics and that, and you've got a selection you get to pick from. I loved Shattered Relics with the whole putting together the fragments and getting different buffs so you can play around with them, that you get a certain setup that does certain things better than others. I loved all that comboing of different fragments, which I wish that they put in this. But with the whole combat masteries thing is another layer of stuff that you can start playing around with and fucking about with, and I love that. I love the whole comboing of things to get better buffs. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they'd have that whole fragment thing in this, but hey ho, here we go. I say a little too high, but a little too low. Low self-esteem and vertigo. She thinks she's made a candy. I don't know why I'm singing Gary Barlow, but is it Gary Barlow? Or does it take that? Or is it even Robbie Williams? I don't fucking know. But it doesn't matter. Why am I talking about Gary Barlow? He's just got a tall son, isn't he? Either way, that is all I've got for you today. There is going to be more stuff being released by the old school team, which I might make some more videos on. But yeah, if I'm not, I'm getting a progression video up for Sunday, the normal progression videos, so check that out. And look forward to seeing you in leagues. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing, drop a like, and let me know your leagues plans down below. I'd love to read them. Anyway, come join the Discord. We're going to be doing a lot of discussions on leagues over there before and throughout the whole of leagues. We might even put on some events during leagues as well. We'll see how we go. But anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Stay safe. See you in Gillinor. Goodbye.